Why did I choose real estate as a career? Man, what a loaded question I was asked the other day and had to really stop and think. It kind of stopped me in my tracks because, oh my gosh. I know kind of the moment that I picked it, but it was never an overwhelming career choice as a kid, because when I was a kid, I always wanted to be a teacher, like the teachers that I loved growing up. But then I decided that wasn't my thing, especially after having a kid myself and being the oldest of 12. But when I moved to Oregon, so I bought a home back in Nevada, my very first home that I purchased, and didn't have a great experience with the real estate agent back there. In fact, it was kind of bad. So fast forward, moving to Oregon, I finally moved to where I'm living now, bought my second home. And again, not a great experience with the real estate agent I used. And the crazy part is that I had an license in that moment, but it was inactive, and thought, okay, I'll just let a friend help me because we had gone to school together. And it just wasn't, there was so many things, and even looking back on, I was not good. So, but the moment I kind of realized, I'd always known I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And for a long time, I thought I was going to be a hairstylist. I used to sit for hours and hours and hours and watch the lady that I did my hair back in Carson City, Nevada. I used to watch her do hair, and she used to always say, oh, you're going to do hair one day, just because I was so intrigued, and I liked the fact that you could pick your own hours. Until I moved to Oregon, and I went through a rental with my ex, and just was so intrigued that every house is different, every client is different, every day in your schedule is different. There's consistencies that I do every day in my job with my career, but every house that I show is different. Every transaction is different. Even though they're the same, they're very different. But the day that I went to look at a rental, walk through the rental, I just kind of knew. And in talking to the real estate agent that was showing us that rental, I thought, I need to do some research on this and see how complicated it really is to become a real estate agent in Oregon. Now, granted, our online course is a lot more hours than most, because we have to do 150 hours. And I ended up transferring from the online to the school because I had too many questions and not enough answers, which didn't help me with my schoolwork, because the test doesn't tell you how to real estate. But I took every step and got it done. So I remember going through that rental house and realizing, and then when I lived in my rental home here in North Bend, and I, for 3 years, consistently paid rent on time every single month, like clockwork, and there were a lot of things wrong with the rental, and every time I reported it to property management, the only thing that got fixed right away was the broken garage door. Everything else, I had broken burners, broken windows, even had black mold growing in the bathroom. Nothing got fixed. And so I knew at that moment in time, this is what I want to do. Because not only do I want to be the real estate agent that I had that I didn't want to be, and I wanted to be different. Very, 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 very different. But I wanted to make, this is the largest transaction anybody will ever purchase or sell in their lifetime. And I want that journey to be as less stressful, because when I finally bought my house, I switched from using my real estate agent to doing it myself under my own license. It's a stressful process. Even as a real estate agent buying my own home, it's a stressful process. And part of what I love to do is take that stress off of people. It's step by step by step. And letting people know, okay, this is the next steps. These are the decisions that you need to be aware of. But being that different real estate agent that in it about the client, because all of mine weren't about me as a client. And there's a big difference. So the moment I decided to get into real estate was the day that I knew, I wanted to be different than all the other real estate agents, all the other realtors. And it's so much fun. When I was walking through the potential rental that we were going to potentially rent, which we didn't, I realized, oh my gosh, every house is different. Every experience is different. The different realtors that I dealt with are different. And I knew that this is what I wanted to do because I light on fire every time I get to go look at a new house, every time I get to list a new house and talk to a new homeowner, new buyers. It's it's one of those career decisions that I can't wait to do in the morning. I can't wait to get up and go do. I have a hard time putting it down. Even when I was on vacation, I was working because I really love what I do. Really do love what I do. And I really like working with my clients and showing them the potential and how much can you get for your house and what kind of things, looking at it from a contractor's perspective, because I used to have my contractor's license and my dad is a structural engineer and I've been in construction since I was knee high. In fact, that's one of the conversations my dad and I had is, wow, I should have done it a long time ago, because I can go into a house and look at it from a different perspective, from a construction perspective. It's really fun. So that's why I got into real estate, and I can't imagine not doing it. Every time I think about something else, I always go right back to real estate. It's where I'm meant to be. I really love this job. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments, send me a DM. You can always text me, but that's why I got into real estate.